News with Lauren Stallone.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. A drug watch has been issued for St. Thomas, Woodstock, and Oxford and Elgin counties tonight. The advisory from Southwestern Public Health comes amid a sudden rise in overdoses and deaths. CTV's Sean Urban reports.
St. Thomas is just one community named in a drug watch by Southwestern Public Health. Here, overdoses are on the rise as testing shows some drugs are being mixed into potentially deadly concoctions. The result is tragic.
We lost 2 young women.
Amanda Zielinski leads The Nameless, a St. Thomas organization that offers both harm reduction and peer support. She says it was her team that alerted health officials after tests came back showing potentially deadly additives in some samples of cocaine and crystal methamphetamine. Now, the concern here is the mixture of drugs. When various substances are combined together, it can lead to more overdoses and deaths.
After we tested, I believe it was a total of 11 samples. We did 9 crystal meth and 2 cocaine samples. All of them tested positive for xylazine, they tested positive for fentanyl, and they tested positive for benzodiazepines.
While the Southwestern Public Health Unit has not confirmed specific cases, they are tracking a rise in overdoses and deaths. Their broad advisory covers not only street-level users, but also occasional users of cocaine.
And they're not used to taking an opioid such as fentanyl. There's a very high increased risk of overdose and worsened sedation, which again increases overdose risk.
As public concern is heightened, so is the call for more education. Users are instructed to never do drugs alone. Counselors not only have naloxone in hand, but also kits to identify contents. Just 3 years ago, Ray Waters was deep in addiction. Now in recovery, he is a peer support worker concerned about the alarming discovery in the street supply.
I was never into fentanyl or anything like that, but still, the same thing could have happened to me.
Which is why the rush to spread the word is on.
I'm just concerned we're going to lose more young people. So much life ahead of people that's not there no more, you know?
In St. Thomas, Sean Urban, CTV News.
Canadians are waiting hours, sometimes even days, in emergency rooms across the country. A new report suggests the problem doesn't actually begin in the ER. Kathy Lee has more on what's really driving the delays.
Long waits in Canada's emergency rooms have become an all-too-familiar experience, and Brenda Trottier knows that firsthand.
It was frustrating.
She says her daughter went to a Calgary emergency room with abdominal pain last month and did not leave until more than 10 hours later.
Why wasn't her pain addressed? Why did we wait so long?
A new report by the Canadian Institute for Health Information found 1 in 10 patients spent more than 14 hours in the ER in 2024-2025. For those needing to be admitted, 1 in 10 spent more than 2 days in the ER waiting for a bed. This doctor says it's a long-standing issue that keeps getting worse.
We've been calling a state of emergency and state of crisis.
The report suggests the root of the problem often lies far beyond the emergency department. Shortages of hospital beds, long-term care spaces, and community supports are creating a bottleneck through the healthcare system.
Our government has been neglecting on some of the capacity and workforce building.
The consequences of overcrowded emergency departments have at times been tragic. In Alberta, 44-year-old Prashant Srikumar died in an Edmonton ER. And in Ontario, 16-year-old Finlay Vander Werken died in an Oakville ER. Both waited 8 hours to see a doctor. The Alberta government says population growth, rising demand, and increasing patient complexity are contributing to longer waits.
I think the feds have to get involved now and actually start to say, hey, we need to look at this in a national solution.
Trottier is thankful her daughter's condition wasn't more serious and understands medical staff are under strain, but says enough is enough.
It is broken.
And the government needs to make changes. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Calgary.
An Ontario pharmacist is citing concerns about the amount of medicine on back order. He is calling for action from both the province and federal government. CTV's Siobhan Morris explains.
2 drops in the morning.
Kirsten Campbell was thrown for a loop last week when she tried to refill a prescription for eye drops.
No, can't be to anger, and then I was in a bit of a panic.
She's been using Combigan for years to treat glaucoma. She'd never had an issue before.
Is this going to be not my fault? I'm going to end up having to have surgery? You know, or worse, like the pressure builds up and something worse could happen.
She did eventually get set up with an alternative, but her eye drops, one of the drugs a bunch of pharmacists have struggled to get their hands on. Same with hydromorphone, commonly prescribed after surgery.
A heartburn medication called Tecta, or it's generic, pantoprazole magnesium, that's been on back order for over a month.
The reason for the holdup is different drug to drug. Issues at the manufacturing level, a spike in demand. Massey says that causes a lot of frustration on both sides of the pharmacy counter.
We end up having to try to find alternatives that we recommend to physicians, and then physicians end up wasting a lot of time reading through multiple communications.
It's adding unnecessary time to a very simple process.
Dr. Alan Grill explains back orders also create scheduling complications for patients and may slow down getting the support they need.
You really should be speaking to the patient to let them know what's happening. So in some cases, your community pharmacist will do that. But in other cases, the patient will then potentially book a second appointment to find out why you changed your mind on the medication.
It helps when pharmacists recommend an alternative they do have in stock. Massey wants to eliminate that step.
Pharmacists should be allowed to switch medications when on back order to a drug in the same class that's equally efficacious with a similar side effect profile.
He's pleading for better communication from Health Canada about shortages and what's being done to mitigate them.
We just wake up in the morning and we find that a drug is not available. And I think that that's not acceptable.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
A day after the provincial government announced speed limit increases on some provincial highways, the mayor of Sarnia is sounding the alarm about a stretch of the 402 notorious for numerous crashes. CTV's Brian Bicknell reports.
A stretch of Highway 402 through Sarnia that becomes bottlenecked by truck traffic headed for the Blue Water Bridge.
Any farther, the trucks seem to get backed up there a lot, so it's probably going to cause some more accidents.
And then the trucks kind of tend to block both lanes, so it makes it really hard for passengers to even get through.
And now the speed limit on Highway 402 from Waterworks Road to just east of Colburn Road is about to jump to 110 kilometers per hour. The current speed limit is 100 before it drops to 70 approaching the bridge. Sarnia Mayor Mike Bradley says the city was never consulted about the increase.
We've had numerous accidents with people going into the back of vehicles, and that was at the lower speed limit. So one is concerned, because of the volatile nature of some of the cargoes that are in the trucks here, that the higher speed is not going to be helpful. It's compounded by the fact this summer we're looking for a long, hot summer because the Gordie Howe Bridge isn't open. So the Blue Water Bridge has become the alternative location.
Highway 402 between London and Sarnia was originally one of the test sites for 110. It was back in 2019. It became part of a pilot project for a 90-kilometer stretch of the highway, and that became permanent in 2022. According to the provincial government, 876 kilometers of Ontario highways are already at the higher speed. On Wednesday, Transportation Minister Prapmeet Sarkaria announced an additional 938 kilometers of highway will be boosted to 110. The changes taking place between this Friday and the end of September.
We monitored those sections very closely, and what we've seen from that is no increase, whether it's fatalities or from a safety perspective.
The 402 increase through Sarnia kicks in at the end of July. Also in southwestern Ontario, Highway 402 between the 401 and White Oak Drive in London goes to 110 at the same time. While Highway 401 from Chatham-Kent to east of Toronto goes to 110 August 31st. Brian Bicknell, CTV News, Sarnia.
Downtown London's largest landowner is praising City Hall's financial incentive to turn vacant office spaces into new homes. Shmuel Farhi adding the project he unveiled today is just the beginning. CTV's Daryl Newcomb reveals the improving relationship between Farhi and City Hall.
this building built as an office, not as residential.
Shmuel Fari leading a tour of 685 Richmond Street, where office space that had been vacant for 5 or 6 years has been transformed into 41 residential units. The project made possible by City Hall's Office to Residential Conversion program that provides a financial incentive from federal dollars awarded out of the Housing Accelerator Fund.
We found a pathway to a program that now has 200,000 square feet of office space either converted or in the process of being converted. Vacant office space in our downtown core that is being changed into homes.
Currently, the office vacancy rate in downtown London is about 30%. The financial incentive helps offset the cost of upgrading old office space to meet current residential building code and safety standards.
Those conversions cannot be done without the help of the city and the federal government. And very challenging to convert an office.
When you have people living downtown, you have businesses that are able to thrive. The people that live at this particular location will be able to go to local bars, local restaurants, the Grand Theaters down the street.
Fari Holdings is downtown London's largest landowner. And while this project represents progress for the Office to Residential Conversion program, it also suggests improving relations between Shmuel Fari and City Hall.
I think we turn a page. And I had a heart-to-heart talk with Josh and other politicians and support staff. And I said, look, if you want a partnership with us, we will come and do things. And we're doing by doing, not by talking.
You can score a bunch of political points after criticizing him, but that actually doesn't get anything done for Londoners. What gets done is partnership. What gets done is designing programs that actually get people to move on the properties they have.
Fari says the residential building is already at 73% occupancy, and he's now pledging to convert space in some of his other downtown properties.
Our intention is to have close to 300 units in the next 2 to 3 years. More people to bring to downtown, more it support the good fabric of the community.
Fari says he'll be announcing details about his next projects in downtown London soon. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
A local woman is using her passion for animals, specifically horses, to inspire others navigating their mental health struggles. Scott Miller reports.
Harper McNabb has spent the past year using horses to help her deal with the anxieties of adolescence.
School wasn't always easy for me, and, I didn't have always the closest friend to be around, but when I came here, all the horses were just there for me. I didn't have to ask them or, ask them to be my friend. They were just there for me.
McNabb is exactly the kind of client that Pam Siddle wants to help with her new equine-assisted therapy program. RG Wellness and Care, located on a horse farm near Kirkton.
It's a therapy that doesn't include a whole lot of talking. It's just about being present with the horses. Horses have an ability to be very intuitive to how we're feeling, pick up on our emotions and our energy.
Siddle learned the power of horse healing over the past 2 years following the sudden passing of her father after he took his own life on May 2nd, 2024. Siddle took 6 months off work to grieve the loss, spending much of that time with her horses.
Out of 45 years of being around horses, I never experienced what it felt like to actually heal with them.
She's sharing that horse healing with others now.
I have foster children coming in here, and we're seeing an amazing outcome, very positive. And with here in Perth CAS, we have a partnership, and I just see that growing.
McNabb says spending her spare time with horses has made her happier and more centered than ever before.
I love coming out here because honestly it's just so therapeutic, because I'm not a huge talkative person. I don't like to talk about my feelings, but horses, they just are so understanding, but they don't have words.
It is called therapy, but it's not talk therapy. It's not your traditional therapy. So it's nice for people that maybe have tried the talk therapy and it's not really working for them.
Near Kirkton, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Coming up, a unique bonding experience, how Vancouver is keeping the party going as the FIFA World Cup continues. Canada's Canada's main stock index was helped by gains in the basic materials and industrial sectors. In Toronto, the TSX gained 114, while in New York, the Dow added 72, and the Nasdaq fell 118. The Canadian dollar is up 0.15 of a cent, and on commodity markets, gold gained almost $39 an ounce, and oil added $158 a barrel. Two powerful earthquakes have struck Venezuela, affecting millions. CTV's Heather Wright on the desperate search for survivors after the biggest quake to hit the country in a century.
A woman waves a piece of clothing from this building in La Guaira, Venezuela, one of many people trapped inside their homes, following two of the most devastating earthquakes to hit Venezuela in more than a century. Both quakes struck near the country's northern coast. The first, a magnitude 7.2, hit around 6:04 p.m. The second, a magnitude 7.5, came just 40 seconds later.
And then I felt the ground shaking a little bit, and then just mass panic.
Rescue crews and civilians spent the night combing through the rubble of toppled buildings trying to find survivors. The two major earthquakes battering the country's already fragile infrastructure. More than 100 people are confirmed dead, with thousands of people still missing.
It's heartbreaking.
John Rosenberg is from Caracas and now lives in Toronto. He's worried about all the people still missing and about the devastating long-term impact these quakes will have on the country.
We feel like there was finally a recovery starting to happen, and to see the devastation and to see how much the infrastructure has suffered.
Today, Venezuela's President Delcy Rodriguez called for unity in the face of this disaster, which will likely further test her presidency. Rodriguez was installed after the United States ousted former President Nicolas Maduro in January. While Venezuela is an oil-rich country, decades of corruption and record-high inflation mean many services have been hollowed out, complicating rescue efforts. Today, Canada was among the many nations promising help.
We're working with our partners directly, and we will scale things as appropriate to move forward.
The Prime Minister says one of the challenges the government is facing when it comes to helping Canadians on the ground in Venezuela is that Canada does not have an embassy there. While there are no imminent plans to reopen one, Mark Carney says this disaster is a reminder of the importance of having a presence in foreign countries, even adversarial ones. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Some very scary moments now for a pilot and passengers on a small plane that were forced to emergency land in the Alaskan wilderness. That video shows when the plane touched down. Now, the pilot says the aircraft did suffer some engine troubles, and that was the cause for the emergency landing. There were 9 passengers on board, and the pilot and all of those 9 passengers walked away without any injuries.
Good evening. I'm meteorologist Gary Archibald for CTV News. We're looking at some showers lingering because of this pesky area of low pressure. It's rather large, draped across much of Ontario and the Great Lakes proper, and it's been inducing showers, thunderstorms, gusty winds, even some hail being reported. We could still see this threat through the overnight before things start to clear out and cool down for our Friday. I'll break down what you need to know as we look ahead to Canada Day's weather forecast. It's coming up after this break.
Gary joins me now, and Gary, we've seen some storms coming through tonight.
You're right about that. And I think, Lauren, there's still a chance between now and 2 a.m. that it could continue sporadically. But the good news is tomorrow, I think it's a quiet day. In fact, it'll be a little cooler. Today's high, about 23 to 24 degrees within the city limits. We average now 25, and of course that number is just going to go up. We have a massive system of low pressure spinning about. The core itself, the center of the low, is right over upper Michigan, sliding over Manitoulin Island, Ontario. From Gore Bay towards the Bruce Peninsula, we've been in and out of showers. Sporadic showers from Chatham-Kent through and in and around London, Kitchener, Waterloo, and then, of course, Mount Forest getting hit hard, Waterton, Kincardine, eastern shores of Lake Huron. So this is going to linger through the overnight. The good news is some of this sporadic activity really won't be too much of an issue for tomorrow. It'll just be gray and cooler because in behind the system as it exits, we're drawing down from north to south, the westerlies and northwesterlies, in particular across the Lake Huron shores. If you live anywhere from Sarnia towards Goderich, Southampton, that's where we're seeing the heavier rains, but so you'll feel much cooler through the overnight. By 3 a.m. down to about 10 degrees Celsius, when normally you'd be closer to about 14, 15 even. So the rain's falling sporadically now and through the overnight. Waterton's down to 9 projected. The lowest temperature before dawn Friday morning will hover around 13 in London, a bit warmer Long Point at 17, again cloudy. Overcast tomorrow for the morning, 15 degrees at 8 a.m. by the noon hour, still cloudy, 19. The winds out of the north, if not north-northwest at 20 sustained with gusts to the 40s. So it's going to be a gray day and a windy one. And we'll see that high of about 22 degrees Celsius come in close to about 4 p.m. Take a look at the next 7 days, calling for a cooler, windier, cloudy day, but not likely much rain, so that's good. Saturday, Sunday, fair and then sunnier. Note the temperatures 25 up to 27, so seasonal, but then things just get warm, rainy, humid, maybe even seeing some thunderstorm activity by Thursday. And of course, Wednesday's Canada Day, so hopefully you'll enjoy it without too much rain. The probability stats rated at 30% right now. That's the likelihood of an occurrence relatively low. So the weekend's warming up. Next week, much warmer, and rain showers, a big part of the story from Monday through to possibly Friday of next week. That's a look at your weather. Lauren?
Thanks, Gary. Run clubs are really gaining popularity across the globe, with people using it as an opportunity to meet other people, other runners, and gain community. That's exactly what they're doing across Windsor, Essex, and Bob Belichico has more for us now.
Seems like you can join a run group every day of the week.
Kyle McCammon runs with different groups and says he has seen the running community grow steadily since the end of the pandemic.
Run groups seem to have given people a chance to get active and healthy and physical.
The Sandwich Beer Runners have a strong group that gathers Tuesdays. Jen Dobbin is new to the group.
I've been running probably about 4 or 5 years now, so decided to join this group and get into the neighborhood community.
It's a good way to stay healthy, and I've met a lot of new friends coming out here, and I come out here every Tuesday, and it's a great time.
So there are 12 running groups in the region, 2 of them here on Drouillard Road. One happens on Thursday at the Cookie Bar starting at 6. The other Saturday mornings here at Chance Coffee at 9 a.m. Now we'll have a link on our website for those of you who are interested in finding a running group. The Sandwich Group also extends goodwill to the community, holding bottle, clothing, and shoe drives.
You'd almost naturally look for a purpose if you have like a lot of people showing up every week and you feel like, oh, we should do something.
They, along with many groups, take it a step further, signing up for local charity runs.
They're selling out faster than ever, so I definitely think there's a lot of interest in the area for charity runs.
They've been selling out 2 to 3 months in advance, which was not the case last year. They would sell out maybe a month in advance last year.
Dave Orshinsky is a familiar face on the running event circuit and is helping to organize Saturday's All In for Jonesy run at Lakewood Park in Tecumseh in support of ALS.
Because of the popularity, we're starting to see a lot more new runs pop up, or walks. And that's, again, because everybody knows there are a lot more people out there willing to help.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
CTV News London has a newsletter helping you start your day with the latest local headlines. By signing up, you'll get local news content from CTV London direct to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewslondon.ca.
A cat in British Columbia is showing a bear who's boss. This video posted to social media shows an unlikely game of cat and mouse, except with a bear. You can see it charging at the black bear and that wandered into the backyard. The bear then gets spooked and darts around the grounds before hopping over the fence. Wow. The party continues in Vancouver as fans from around the world gather in the streets. CTV's Isabella Zavrizi follows the bouncing ball, bringing people together.
You don't need a formal invite to join, just a desire to keep the ball off the ground.
The energy, the environment, the atmosphere, it's magical, it's amazing.
Scattered along Granville Street, groups of people are juggling. Some strangers, some friends. These two only met when the tournament began.
Whenever we start a circle, it always starts out just the two of us, and we get a good circle, like game going between us, and then within 5 minutes, 20 people, the whole street shut down.
Some are skillful, balancing and cradling the ball with ease, while others are still finding their feet.
When I first started, I wasn't that good, but it's getting better every day, and people from all over the world, right? This guy over here, he's from Brazil, so we're learning some good tricks from him.
I've been downtown 2 times, and I played every single time. I'm not that good, but it's just for the experience,
But here, skill isn't the point. These juggling circles cross cultures.
It's very international, which I think speaks to what this game is all about. And it's incredible to see not just people from the city like them, but also, tourists coming from all around the world.
Fans from dozens of countries all cheering for each other. And while everyone is rooting for their home country, when that's not an option, they're happy to borrow someone else's dream.
I'm not even Brazilian, but I'm Brazilian like yesterday. I was Moroccan last week, and I was Egyptian yesterday.
And that's exactly what this is about. A laugh, a memory, uniting people beyond the score of the game.
There's no animosity or hatred between the nations, even when they're competing. It's pretty incredible.
As Canada and the world leave their mark on the pitch, it's out here on the street, where the people's game shows why it's so beloved. Isabella Zavarici, CTV News, Vancouver.
That's our time tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. I'm Lauren Stallone. Have a good night.